Hey everyone, it's Summer with AstariaSen, and I am on the second part of my journey through the Enchanted Forest that I am following along with the Crochet Witch channel, which I will leave down in the description. She's already done day 2, but you can always find her previous videos on this, and you can probably just jump in whenever you want to. It's not going to be a big deal. Now, we started off with the stag, and last time the stag was inviting me to start out on the journey, right? And I went through the forest. I followed him into this thicket, and along the way I learned that I have some things that I have to deal with. Part of it's some cabin fever depression that I've been feeling. Part of it is being afraid of the unknown and trying not to worry myself over it, and just trusting that this journey can be fulfilling for me. So here's the stag, and the next part of the journey he's leading me, and I wrote down a few things, so let's go ahead and follow it through. Okay, so he leads me on. As the stag heart leads me inside the forest, I follow beyond the tree boundaries until the outside world no longer stares at my back, and all I can feel is the water of the nature of the enchanted forest surrounding me. We walk in silence until I can hear low talking ahead of us. The heart bows at me and steps aside, as if encouraging me to go on without him. I take a few tentative steps and pull in my gumption. I can do this. I step through a brush thicket to find 5 beings sitting around a small campfire. The fire isn't orange like normal. It's more like a flicker between yellow and blue, green and nothing, but nothing about it seems hot. I meet the enchanter first, and I ask my question. Knowing these beings will give me guidance, I need to move on. The guidance I need to move on in order to go with the rest of the forest. I ask, what power am I not using to my fullest potential? The enchanter looks at me, as if seeing me, right through me, right to my soul. And when he speaks, it's as though he smacked me along the backside of my head, even though he hasn't touched me. He tells me to start seeing the wonder all around me. The 4 visions come in. That boredom, that not looking at the everyday, that not looking at the wonder of the little butterfly, the water bird, all of these things that are so magical, and I'm not even looking at them. I have the power to look at them. I have the ability to look at them, but I'm ignoring it, acting as if some small or some great epiphany will somehow show me a way through. But all of what we are happens in our day-to-day, and the wonder that brings with it. I thank him and address the wise woman next, knowing full well none of these beings are going to candy coat this part of the journey of myself for me. Wise woman, I ask, what truths should I seek out about myself? A mirror appears, just as in the 2 of challenges. I can't see beyond it or around it. I can only see my reflection inside. Wise woman tells me in a firm voice to look deep at who I am and what I want. I won't get far by distracting myself and not committing to a choice, and in order to make the right choice, I have to look at myself in an honest way, seeing all my faults and all of my failings. I swallow the lump in my throat as my image disappears and the beings sit before me again. The Green Mother takes my hand gently and smiles. I feel an overwhelming amount of comfort coming from her, and she knows what I'm going to ask before I even ask it. She answers the question without actually speaking, and instead her soul seems to be talking to mine. She reminds me of the 7 of challenges, which is the swords, that it's not just people outside of myself that can be sabotaging me, but not taking care of my own needs is a sneaky self-sabotage that us humans do sometimes without even being fully aware. She tells me to take a closer look at my needs and make sure I'm nourishing what I need as I continue on, and continuously do so. She lets go of my hand, and I turn to the Forest Lord instinctively, his horns calling to something deep within me, something less tame, my own wild self I keep hidden from the world. He waits expectantly, and I take a breath and ask what boundaries I need to focus on as I continue on the path. Unicorns in the Ten of Visions appear, and he tells me they are rare but well-protected creatures within the forest, under his protection even. He tells me they seek true bliss, and I should look at them for what they are, innocent happiness. We as humans overlook our own happiness all the time, and he reminds me to check up on what makes me happy, and to protect that happiness as it deserves a protective boundary. And finally, I lay my eyes on the immensive being of the oldest one. He's huge, but he has kind eyes, even though they bore into my heart. I don't hesitate. He's the final one before I move forward, so I ask what I should remember as I go forward. A green mist lurks along my feet, and I know what it is. It's that depression I've been feeling. I felt it many times. I felt it even at the start of this journey. The lost depression that just lurks. These wandering women of the Eight of Visions, they're lost in that depression. The oldest one reminds me I already know what my past holds, and I shouldn't stay in it. The mist is only lurking about because I haven't moved. But the moment I stand up, it dissipates. I know how to keep myself in a good place, and as I go forward with all their advice, I should look to what keeps me in a good place by reminding myself of where I do not want to be. The heart appears just beyond their fire. He's waiting for me to continue. I thank the beings for their honesty, and I step outside the cozy camp area into the darker parts of the forest, not completely sure what will come next, but ready to hold myself accountable for my choices along this journey, and I open my heart to the enchantment of every step.